All right, we've got an orange Terran. This is the first Terran of the series so far. His name is Psych, and he is on the left side, the bottom left corner of Antigua Shipyard. And way over here on the top right, we have Infinity 7 Sandbox. And Sandbox is saying, wait, I thought MLG removed gold. This could be a case of them not being able to get the right map version. Again, don't want to blame 1.5, but I'm kind of blaming 1.5. I'm not sure who hosted the games. It's up to the players and managers to host the right map. But our version does not have gold, and it is cross-only. This version does have gold, so I'm not sure what they hosted. But it's all right. If they decided to play it out and not regame, that's totally up to them, and I'm fine casting it. What do you think about all that?
To be honest, I'm a very big fan of the maps that don't actually have gold. I really don't like the gold concept. I wasn't a big fan of it from the start when I started, getting into StarCraft. So, I'm very happy when I do tournaments or cast tournaments or any things like that, and they don't actually have the gold. And as well, force cross spawns. I mean, on a map like Antigua Shipyard, it's just I feel like it's just a requirement at this point.
Yep.
Gold is a little bit more arguable than just cross spawn is. I feel like.
Yeah, gold bases. I mean, it's just one of those things that StarCraft 2 introduced, right? It's like destructible rocks. It's like Xel'Naga
Yeah.
Towers. The game has these differences from Brood War, and I feel like, you know what? If the game creators wanted it in there, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, it does somewhat favor Terran in the fact that they can obviously just lift up orbitals, bring it over, and drop mules all over the place. Mules gathering rich minerals are just really, really, really good. So I feel like sometimes the other races have, they have a valid argument against it, but whatever. I'm cool about it. But then again, I'm not a top level tournament player, so these things don't concern me quite as much. As far as competitive play, I mean, IPL, like I said, we did decide to remove the gold bases purely based on the requests of the players. Whatever the players feel is right. I mean, they're the ones putting themselves on the line basically to try and win real money and sustain themselves and stuff like that. So we try to bend the way of the players if in most cases, unless it's just something silly. Like I have no examples because we pretty much just always listen to
Mules
players.
on gold before the nerf. How about that?
Mules on gold before the nerf,
Yeah.
they were really good. So I mean that was like I said, like you said though, they got nerfed. I mean Blizzard
Yeah.
had eyes on that as well. But Psych is going to go ahead and put up 2 barracks here at his ramp. He's already got a command center being built as well at his natural. Sandbox doing, more or less the same thing we've seen out of him. He's building 2 lings now. I'm curious if he's going to build any more than that, actually. You kind of don't need to until you have reason to believe your opponent is going to be attacking you. But 2 orbital commands being upgraded at once. That was kind of the intent here for Psych. And his second barracks is going to be done really soon. I'm curious what TVZ style Psych has, if he's going to go heavy bio with medevac support or maybe mech it up. Still a little too early to tell.
I like the Marine King style that came out a couple months, I guess a couple weeks back now. It's kind of faded away, but where you go for the quick 3 orbitals, you go for 1 gas and get a quick stim with 3 orbitals on Q base. I felt like that was a really nice transition, especially after the Queen patch. A lot of Terran players are having issues, and it was a really good counter because you were able to turtle really well. You didn't worry too much about harassing your opponent, and you're able to tech while still having a really, really great economy. So I always talk about that whenever I see TVZ, but nobody ever does that anymore. I don't understand why.
I don't know, man. It's totally up to the players. And I think I figured out what happened with this Antigua Shipyard hosting. It appears they just hosted the ladder map because there are no depots here either. There are no depots and there's gold bases. So thankfully they spawned cross because, that would be bad. They would have to rehost for sure and if they spawned any other place. Yeah, there's no depots at the bottom of these ramps. Gold minerals.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. That's kind of interesting.
Pretty
We
sure.
had a problem with that in the past. I mean, I just wish somebody come out and make one general type of map that everybody could agree on.
It would have to be Blizzard, right? Like if they had the universal map and we
yeah.
didn't have to, that would just be lovely. They could just call it Tournament Antigua or Ladder. They have LE for
Yeah.
Tal'Darim. You could have Tal'Darim TE and LE just to split it up. But yeah, I think they definitely, that's probably what happened is they just hosted the ladder version because I know MLG, IPL, basically any tournament version is going to have those depots at least at the bottom of the ramp. But anyway, That's enough about that. We've got the third hatch coming up for Sandbox, so he is, again, just taking his time. He realizes his opponent is not being super aggressive right now, so he's just going to take advantage of it. And macro, macro, macro. How many drones is he up to? 41 already against 32 SCVs. Back at the Terran base, we do have factories producing many Hellions. He's already got a couple queued up as well, so he is going to be gearing up for some kind of assault here soon at the natural, and it looks like Sandbox is pretty much going to be ready for it. He's got a Spine Crawler, he's got Evo Chambers, and now a Roach Warren planned, it looks like. There, it's finally going down, but basically he's building a hook around that Spine Crawler. He's got a Queen in place as well, so I'm not sure how effective these first two Hellions are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the recent patch with the queens and everything, players still go for the Hellions. There's nothing wrong with that. You're able to deny a couple of creep tumors, possibly even get by and do a little bit of damage. But it's really the scouting information that I believe he's going to try and look for here. Does not deny the creep tumor. The two other queens do follow down, and so I don't want to say that it was Zanyo that started it, but he was the first one I saw do it. Was the mid-game Roach Warren. I saw it was a couple months back. I saw him do it for the first time. I forget what tournament it was, but he was the first player I saw do it where he went for these quick roaches and he used them just for defensive purposes. He built like 6 or 7 roaches and that's it. He never used the Roach Warren again for the rest of the game. But he used it primarily to deny any sort of timings, like heavy marine, maybe with just stim, as well the Hellion timings. Of course, it doesn't work too well against Banshees, but I really liked it, and players started to adopt it more and more, and it looks like Sandbox as well. I mean, he's building 8 roaches right now, and he's getting Zergling upgrades, so I don't think he's going to go too much further with the roach production.
You could be right. We'll just have to see. Looks like
Oh, wow, lied.
really good defense.
10 roaches in production.
Oh, 10 roaches. Wow, wow. Okay, so it looks like he is gearing up for actually roach attacking, not just defending. But Psych tried to get in there with those Hellions, did not get anywhere close to that mineral line, so still 0 workers killed for him. In other news, we have all these roaches now forming up on this queen. He's got 5 more in production right now. Lair is just about to finish, so roach speed can begin. 20 lings on the way. Spore Crawler coming up now as well. He doesn't really know what his opponent is up to. I'm just going to grab an Overlord here and see what kind of scouting he's been able to do. Yeah, he hasn't actually been able to do any scouting. Now these Hellions have pushed forward, and lots of Marines and Marauders are actually in tow as well. 2 medevacs overhead, but the roach count appears to be pretty sturdy, and this queen is actually coming along for the ride. Sandbox is not shy about having his queens come in and help out. He is actually attacking that medevac down with his queens, and the roaches, they may have pushed a little bit too far forward. Nah, it'll be all right. There's a lot of Zerglings in production coming to supplement this force, and Sandbox may even do a follow-through counterattack here.
Yeah, sadly, the engagement happened before Sandbox's 1-1 could finish, because now the Zerglings are even scarier.
Oh, man.
The Marines do not have any sort of plus attack or armor upgrades. Of course, they do have stim pack, and there's the surround, beautifully done, but nice pickup from Psych, able to pick those units up, put them on the high ground. They're all very low, and the medevacs are, down to 60 energy right now, so they're going to burn through that very quick, and I mean, Sandbox is going to do so much damage here. He's got Banelings queued up, 16 Banelings in production, plus 2 on the way, and these roaches are just so beefy right now.
Yeah, the Banelings are arriving right now, blasting through those supply depots, blasting through the bunkers. Huge amount of SCVs actually got hit there, and all these roaches are just cleaning up the pieces, basically. I like the positioning by Psych, keeping the Marines and Marauder at max range kind of pinned in there so that the roaches can't really get to them, but those Banelings did so much damage now that, yeah, Sandbox is up 58-30 now in the worker count. That last roach finally gets pumped down by that tank, but there are a lot of lings still in production, streaming across the middle of the map, like 4, 5, 6 at a time, and he's going to form up again, perhaps make just some more Banelings and just crash right in there again. But as you said, 25 workers killed so far by Infinity 7.Sandbox. He's just going to keep this roll going, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, 24 worker kills. He's up 30 supply right now, up 1 base over his opponent. His tech's even really good. He's getting the Overlord upgrades again, so it looks like he's going to go for another push here. Of course, these Zerglings do have 1-1. He's getting close to attacks, but it's not done yet. This might be a little bit overeager from Sandbox. He could actually take a 4th in the middle, which is exactly what he's going to do here, and just kind of sit back and maybe tech up. He's getting pathogen glands. No infestors are in production yet. There's the surround from the Zerglings. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to clean that too easily, but the upgrades are just too massive. And yeah, it looks like he's going to break through, kills both tanks. Of course, they are out of siege mode, and the Zerglings are just picking off more and more drone kills, or SCV kills, 42 worker kills right now. And now he's entering the main.
Just over. GG there from Psych. All these Zerglings just dismantling that natural and running into the main. Psych